Michael wants to meet you. The president wants to meet you. Jerry Greenberg at the time, Sony. They love you guys. And Michael Jackson's really excited. Madonna wants to sign you guys to her label and put you on tour. I remember the fans like shaking our tour bus back and forth. At the time, the industry died because of 9/11. It was a really dramatic, of course, a dramatic event for everybody on the planet. But the doors that were open to me because I was signed by Madonna and all of these things that were slammed in my face. Validation comes from within. I just did the Grammys and I just hosted for the first time a Grammy party. That's something you got to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I love you. Here's your tour bus. Here are your flights handled for you. Here's the private jet to get you from here to here, to do this thing, to do that. It was no longer that.
Welcome to another episode of the Starter Girlz Podcast. I am your host, Jennifer Loehding, and wherever you are tuning in today, we are so glad to have you. All right, I'm going to open up with this today. What does it take to stand out in an industry that's constantly changing, to reinvent yourself, and to keep creating at the highest level? Well, my guest today is someone who's done it all: music, performance, media, and so much more. From the stage to the studio and even into acting and producing, he's learned what it takes to truly turn passion into impact. And so I'm so excited to chat with him today. And before we do this, I do need to do a shout out to our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Productions. Need to add excitement to your YouTube videos or some expert hands for editing? Look no further. Walt Mills is the solution you've been searching for. Walt is not only your go-to guy for spicing up content, he's the force behind a thriving film production company with numerous titles in the pipeline. Always on the lookout for raw talent, Walt is eager to collaborate on film and internet productions. With a background deeply rooted in entertainment and promotion, Walt Mills leverages years of skills to give you the spotlight you deserve. Want to learn more about Walt and his work? Head on over to waltmillsproductions.net and let your content shine.
And with that, I do want to make a mention to head on over to startergirlz.com. I tell you this every single week. And why do I say that? For 3 reasons. 1, because if you have missed an episode, it is a great place to catch up. It's also a great place to sign up for our community newsletter, and you can stay in the know of all these fabulous episodes that go out. And then also, if you are an aspiring creator, an entrepreneur, or maybe you're in the thick of it right now and you want to know what your number one success block is that may be hindering your success, well, guess what? I've got you covered. You can go over there and take my 2-minute quiz, and it will tell you exactly what block may be affecting your success right now. So as I always say, head on over to startergirlz.com and do your thing. All right. Welcome, my guest. I'm so excited about this today. It's going to be so much fun. And I don't know, like I always say, my guests, normally I get to meet them beforehand, but the last few guests, this has been so much fun because we've just sort of have jumped on here and done this. And so I'm so excited about this today. But let me tell you a little bit about him first. My guest, Ricky Rebel, a multi-talented artist whose career spans music, dance, performance, and media, from leading a boy band signed by Michael Jackson and Madonna to building a solo music career with collaborations including Snoop Dogg and Lil Wayne. He's also made waves in acting, voiceovers, and television, including co-hosting the Hollywood Rebel Report, making standout appearances on talk shows, and starring in the series Getaway. Recognized internationally with awards for his music, videos, he shares a unique perspective on creativity, resilience, and defining success on your own terms. So, Ricky, welcome to the Starter Girlz Show. I'm so excited to have you here today.
I'm really excited too, Jennifer. So great to meet you.
You too. It's going to be so much fun. And yes, as I mentioned, it's so funny because maybe you're like this, maybe you're not, but I like to pride myself in saying I'm kind of a planner. And so, I feel like doing podcasts, I've been doing this for a while. I have no trouble getting in front of people and talking and having conversation, but it's so funny because this to me, like when I have to meet somebody sort of like for the first time, is kind of like going on video when I haven't planned something. And it's kind of like I have to step out of my comfort zone just a little bit to do this. So, right. I think all of us, no matter where we are, we have those moments where we sort of have to do something that's like a little bit, maybe a little uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, vulnerable.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's good. I like it. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about you. This is going to be fun. I want to kind of open this up. I want to go back to your beginning, your journey, and what led you, like,
What brought you to music and this band, this boy band? Tell me how this got started for you.
When I was a kid, I started off in gymnastics. I had a natural ability to do flips. I used to do flips for everybody to entertain people. They're like, "Oh my gosh!" Doing backflips across the baseball field. My brother played baseball during the after if they won, I would do backflips,
That's so
and
fun.
it was a way that I connected with people, and it was a lot of fun. And I was being trained to go to the Olympics, and I started to get really nervous, and kind of it's very a lot of anxiety when you do hardcore competitive sports like that level of training. So in order to keep me doing gymnastics, they were like, "Why don't we take them into dance class?" And I took my first dance class, and I fell in love with it, and I liked it just because it wasn't so in about perfection. It was more about expression.
Right.
Because in gymnastics, the second you get on to the floor or whatever apparatus you're doing, they're trying to find what's wrong with what you're doing, and they're trying to deduct every single thing that you're doing wrong. The pointing of the feet, the stepping outside the line. There's all of these rules, but in dance, there was a lot more freedom, and I fell in love with dancing. And then I started taking singing classes, and I auditioned to be a part of an R&B group. And at first I was supposed to be a backup singer for the group, and then they put me behind the mic, and they realized that I can sing very quickly, get it down fast, and they started giving me leads, and we made some demos, and it got into the hands of an executive named Michael.
Okay.
And we were like, "Okay, cool. Michael loves it. Michael loves what you're doing. Keep it up. He wants to hear more. Sure, we'll make more things for Michael at Sony." That's what we were told. And so he's like, "Okay, Michael wants to meet you. The president wants to meet you." Jerry Greenberg at the time at Sony. They love you guys. And Michael Jackson's really excited. So make sure you're on time. Michael Jackson? What? This
Yeah.
whole time it was, we thought it was
Right.
Michael Rosenblatt or some type of name that
Yeah.
we had no idea. And maybe it was better that way because we wouldn't have, we probably would have been nervous um,
Right.
leading up to it, but we didn't have time to be nervous. We just got in
Yeah.
the room, and they signed us. And after that, we made another record, and Sony was unable to release it. It's called being shelved. So they shelved it. But we made this whole album, and I got this call from my PR agent, and he said, "Ricky, you're not going to believe this, but you need to be really quiet about it." Because they know that I love this person. I have like two major musical heroes, Michael and Madonna. And he's like, "I don't tell anybody, but Madonna wants to sign you guys to her label and put you on tour with Britney Spears." And when I got that call, I was like, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is the craziest day of my life." And it turned out to be true. I didn't believe it. Um, but it's true. They took that album that we had made under Sony, and they distributed it under Maverick. Madonna did her record label. And it was the best record label in the whole planet. Honestly, they were so like amazing. They put us on tour with Britney, like I said, and it was just an extraordinary moment in my life.
Yeah. Wow. And to have that happen because talk about just like timing, right? Like perfect timing. And I want to say something because I've had several Olympians come on this show. And so I definitely can, I've heard what you've said. I've heard that before. And even just when you talked about like going from that to dance, I was a dancer, not like you, but I was a dancer and I took dance for many years. And so I understand like the freedom of expression and all of that stuff. And so I get it. But this whole journey, like starting from this competitive space to moving into this, and this is like, really a finding your gift, like, right, going through this little journey to find your gift and then being able to use that in a place and just doing it at the right time and being seen by the right people, right? It's
Mhm.
just awesome.
It is. It is awesome.
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
going with the flow of life, I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they say, isn't it? A lot of times when you find like the thing, that you enjoy doing and you just go about and you're doing your thing, right? And I don't know that everybody gets famous, but the point is you're doing your thing. You're doing what you're gifted at or what what you're passionate about, and it
Mm,
brings the most happiness, but also fulfills a lot of other areas in your life.
yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. There were crazy times, like in Europe. I remember the fans like shaking our tour bus back
Yeah.
and forth. We thought it was going to fall over.
Oh my goodness.
Those times when we would wake up and there would be girls hiding in our closet, coming out screaming to come and give us a hug, like while we're on the bed, like just crazy experiences like that.
Yeah.
Um, and at such a young age too. I was only 19, 20. So
Yeah.
to experience
Wow.
all of that at that young of age has been also, psychologically a lot of things I've had to
Yeah.
manage.
Sure, sure. Well, and most people will never, obviously, many of us won't experience that. So it's a surreal thing for you, right? Like you have to go through that. And I'm sure the first time, I mean, having that and having come from here, and then all of a sudden you're in this new arena of stardom, fans and people you've got to deal with. It's so, yeah, it's interesting to hear this. So I would love to know, transitioning from this boy band into, your solo career, what were some of the challenges that you had? Because the reason I'm asking you this, completely different than yours, but it's an identity thing, right? Like I told you before we jumped on here that I had been in, Mary Kay for 22 years. That was sort of my identity. That is what I knew. And then when I went on my own, I sort of had to reinvent Jennifer because Jennifer was that, all those years. And so there was this like transition period I had to go through. So I'm
Mm.
interested to know from you, and I'm sure our audience is kind of what maybe some of the challenges were for you going from that boy band to this, now you're doing your thing.
Huge challenges, Jennifer.
Sure, yeah.
At the time, the industry died because of 9/11. It was a really dramatic, of course, a dramatic event for everybody on the planet, but it had a huge impact on music. And that was right around the time when stealing music was just coming into the play as well. And record labels didn't know how to handle that. They didn't know how to keep the money flowing where it needs to be flown. So basically, the industry died, and it was really difficult to. A lot of the doors that were open to me because I was signed by Madonna and all of these things were slammed in my face
Mm,
after we got dropped from the label. It was like a big wake up call for me in the sense that like, I'm like, oh wow, I'm gonna have to uh, do this basically as my own self, my own record label, and produce myself. I can't rely on um, heavy hitter producers like we had, like Ronnie Jerkins and whatnot. So I had to learn how to produce music, which I was excited about. I learned how to play the guitar. It forced me to become basically my own everything
yeah.
at a very young age. And at first, I mean, I had a lot of resentment about it. I mean, I'm just gonna be really open and honest. Like when you're not handed everything, because we definitely were not handed things. Like I had to work very, very, very hard, and so did my band members. We had to work very, very hard to get any type of success that we ever gotten. In the sense that the scheduling, going to bed at 2 a.m. after a show, waking up at 4 to get the flight, like stuff like that. We did that. We lived that life for like years. But what nobody tells you is like how hard it is to go from, okay, here's your tour bus.
Yeah.
Here are your flights handled for you. Here's the private jet to get you from here to here, to do this thing, to do that. It was no longer that. So I had to learn a lot about the industry and the business side. And of course, the business has changed dramatically since then. It just every year keeps changing, keeps evolving. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure it gave you too an appreciation for it, right? It's kind of like when you get pinned against the wall and all of a sudden you have to learn all the pieces, right? You have a new like appreciation for it. That's how I feel like that even doing this podcast, because it's so funny. People hear like it's crazy. I have other businesses, but sort of everybody knows that. Like here, if they introduce me at a networking event, they're like, she's the podcast girl, because everybody here that I network pretty much knows that that's what I do. And people will call me and they'll be like, hey, so I hear you have a podcast. Can you tell me what I need to know? And Ricky, I could sit down and probably tell anybody like the ins and outs of how to do a low budget. You can do creme de la creme. I went into the studio, started that way, did it in a nice studio. And then during COVID, got forced to have to go home, kind of like you're talking about, and figure it all out. So I had to learn how to produce. I had to learn how to do this, how to find the guest, how to book, do all that stuff. And, and so it gave me sort of a new appreciation for, I think like how to do it right. And then and even learning in the pieces of, okay, what do I not want to do anymore?
Right.
Like, what can I farm out? That kind of thing. And so, but I totally, I can't relate to what, this piece that you're talking about, because I'm obviously not there, but I can understand that going from here and having to make that shift into a new arena. And it sounds like you're doing amazing. So you figured it out, and that's all that matters, right?
Well, we became producers is what happened, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good
And
title.
I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for all the difficult times. They always say it's cliche, but it does make you who you are today. It makes you a stronger person. I enjoy now taking control of my music, especially the sound, my image. I'm in total control of all of those things. So I'm grateful for that as well.
It's good. Yeah. No, you definitely learn from these things. And then it's good that you figured that out, because I think that's what makes people pivot and keep and clearly I looked at I get your bio today. They sent me your media sheet. I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this person is like not the person that just goes, okay, I did this one thing, I'm just stopping, I'm done, no, you're like continually evolving. And I love this, because I think some people, this is the way they are. They just continue to keep evolving. Some people, they have a little bit of whatever success, whether it's in the entertainment creative, but it could be in any capacity in a business. They'll have success and they just kind of settle in their space. And then there are other people that continually keep going forward and evolving. And I totally love it, because that's how I roll. I mean, even with this, when I do this show, I'm constantly going, okay, what can we do different? Like, maybe I need to change this up this time, or maybe we need to, which to the point of this, just so you know, like when we started doing, all of a sudden, like, okay, I'm going to be honest, I've had a few actors and musicians. One of my co-hosts was a top 100 finalist in American Idol. She came out when Carrie Underwood, that she was in during that cohort. And so I've had a few of them, but most of the people that come on my show have been, business type entrepreneurs. And the last few that I've done have been artists, which has been really fun, so I'm again having to sort of kind of reinvent how we're doing this, because we've been doing it one way. So I just say all this to say, I love the evolution. I think it's awesome. And I think it's what keeps us inspired and young in a way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I love it. I love
Keep
it. Okay.
Fresh.
Yeah, exactly. I like that word. Yes. So your career you span music, you've danced, media, acting, you've done all of these things. So I would love to know, like, what's your philosophy for picking a project? Like, what is important to you when you're deciding on what to take on or to go after?
It has to excite me. It has to get me really excited. I love the Las Vegas residency that we're doing right now. It's called Diamond Rebel Renee, and it's 3 headliners: April Diamond, Ricky Rebel, and Robert Renee, coming together to put on this really cool pop showcase and show. And we're developing it right now. Our next show is going to be on Valentine's Day in Vegas at Dust Nightclub. So if you're wanting to come out to that, go to dustlasvegas.com and get some tickets to Diamond Rebel Renee. I love performing. It's like, that's my number one. So that will excite me first out of all of the different projects I'm doing. If we're doing something that involves performing in front of a crowd, that's what excites me the most. Yeah. And after that, producing is really fun for me. It's very easy for me. Well, not very easy, but relatively easy for me to produce, whether it be tracks or vocals. I'm really strong with vocal production. So working with people. I just recently um, got signed to do the soundtrack for a movie. For it's kind of like a kids film, and I'm just got told recently I'm going to be doing the whole soundtrack with my co-producer, or co-friend, my co-producer, I love this guy Brian at MB Studio Productions. We found each other, and now we just got this great idea to open up a school for kids, 13 and 19-year-olds who are professionals or who want to be more professional in this area, and teach them a lot of the things that I have learned over the years to kind of fast track these artists and to understanding what it means to be yourself. I think that's like the hardest thing in the whole world.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Why are you? And different questions like that. And what, how to teach kids not to compare themselves to others. I wish I had a mentor like that when I was growing up. So really, I want to be the mentor that I didn't really have as a kid, to help them get through different mind experiences that happen, anxiety and performance anxiety, how to get through all of these things. And I'm married to a therapist, 14 years, going on 14 years. So he's going to help me figure out the curriculum in a psychological way, in a peer-reviewed study way, in a scientific way, not just, be confident, believe in yourself. Conversations like this really light me up. So I just try to, go with what my spirit says for me to do. And that's basically what I do.
I like that you said spirit, because I say that too. I say that a lot. I'll be like, however the spirit's moving me today. No, it's great that you said this. Yeah, it's great that you said the science thing, because it's so funny. I had a guy come on here a while back, because I do talk a lot about, like, I probably talk similarly in the languaging, like, because I'm an intuitive person, so I'm a feeler, and so I tend to feel things out, and most of the time my intuition is okay, like on point. Occasionally I'm wrong on something. I'm okay if I'm wrong with that. But I had a guy, it was funny because I had a guy come on here one time he's a Cal State professor and psychology. And I love psychology. I mean, that's probably like I love studying people. Yeah. Studying people, why they do what they do. Like, all of those things fascinate me. Well, he came on here and it was so interesting because I would be talking about, like, okay, we got our side of our thing that we do, our things that build our confidence, like our skill sets, all of those. And then we got those things that build our self-worth, the things that we do that make us feel good and make us confident, all of those things, right? Those are two different skill sets, by the way. But he came on and it was funny because his whole thing is he talks about this being versus doing. And it was in a very scientific way. And I loved it because for those people who need that scientific side of the explaining this stuff, it was so good. And he was talking about, like, when you have growth in, like, accomplishments, that's your doing side. But we spend a lot of time doing, thinking that's building our self-worth, when it's really the being side that we need to work on, because it goes with us everywhere we go. And so when he put it that way, I just loved it. And so I always love my psychology, my people that are in that space, therapists, all of that, because they sort of bring that scientific approach to what a lot of us say intuitively, and creatively. And probably, if you're like me, a lot of the work, I mean, the reason I always tell people that I do this podcast is because, okay, one, I enjoy having these conversations. I enjoy this. I don't care about everything else. I enjoy the conversations, but also it's a way for me to share the things that I'm passionate about through the voices of my guests coming on here, And so I think we find our way of having our creative expression and really delivering those messages. And then they can kind of round all that out with the scientific stuff, the important things that for those people that need to get that information. So I love it. I think it's great what you're doing.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So my next question I'm going to ask you, you have collaborated with some awesome people. I love all these little things we've been talking about. The Michael Jackson, the story in the beginning about how you're talking about Michael and you realize the Michael we're talking about, the right Michael here, right? So you've collaborated with some big names in music and done some received some international recognition. I would like to know, you said a little bit, touched on this, but some important lessons that you've learned maybe about being successful in the entertainment industry.
Some lessons I've learned.
Lots of them.
Oh, so many. I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is, how to validate yourself. Validation comes from within. How to be enough. What does it mean to be enough? And that's something you got to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I love you. I'm so proud of you. You're working so hard, and period. Right. Yeah. I have to have conversations like that. Like before I do like a big event, like I just did the Grammys and I just hosted for the first time a Grammy party. And I was a little nervous, and I had to look in that mirror and dead in my eyes, and just talk to myself.
Yeah.
And, it's gonna be really weird to talk about this, but I got 2 cats. I have a ragdoll and I have a Maine Coon.
I like cats.
Do you love cats?
We're good.
We're good. And when I got them, the moment I saw them, I fell madly in love with both of them.
Yeah.
And the cats have taught me so much about me and about, what it means to be enough. Our pets are enough.
Yeah.
Don't you love your pet?
Oh yeah. I have multiples, and yes.
They're like children. They're like, we just love them. And why is it that, the pets don't need plastic surgery, but we do?
Right.
Why do we need Botox? And why do we need to, do all these things to feel like we're worthy and good enough? But we wouldn't dream of putting Botox into our kitties, because our kitties are just beautiful the way they are. And so it just kind of taught me that like, wow, I love my animals so much. Perhaps I can give myself a little bit of that love as well. And so that's something that I've had to learn. It's taken me a long time to get even just a little taste of what that feels like now. The show that we mentioned that you and I talked about off air that I do with Dr. Marissa Pei called Straight Talk. Yeah. It's on NBC News every other Friday. She has taught me a lot. I have to give her credit. I love you, Marissa Pei. She's taught me about how 90 or a big percentage of our thoughts are negative and on a spiral loop. I think it's just show me 80% just of our thoughts are just kind of on a loop in a negative fashion. So if we can kind of, this is another lesson I would like to teach people, is to kind of focus more on what is right about your life, what is good about your life, what are things that you're grateful for about your immediate life, and what are you grateful for about yourself, and doing that on a daily basis, how important that is. That's a lesson I've had to learn. I've had to learn to stay out of religion and politics.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably a good idea.
I've had to learn also to be okay with the idea of myself being a brand, myself being a product. I resented that for the longest time as a kid growing up, or, I've always rebelled, as you say, rebel.
Yeah.
The boy band that was called No Authority, because I didn't like authority. I've always had issues with these things. Don't tell me what to say. Don't control me. Don't this. But now I've realized over time that I am a brand. I am the Coke can, and I don't want to stick like a sticker on there that's going to push away everybody because it's politically tinged, or any type of, a religious thing. It's going to just push people and get them all like this,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So I'm a product, and I had to be like, okay with that. And that's hard. It's hard for, us sensitive types to kind of realize that. But if we want to succeed and if we want to do what we love, I think that is the best route for me. That was the best route for me to go. But I had to go through a lot of lessons in order to get to that point. Yeah. And I would recommend every artist to really consider that idea.
Yeah. No, you said, some really good things. And I do think that, it's so good that you say this, coming from where you are, because I think so many people really go through this, and it doesn't really matter, it's kind of like what I say all the time when I have these podcast interviews, because I talk to people all over the world. And, when you, not to get into politics, but so often they make us believe that everywhere people are very different, vastly different. And you realize that, no, they're not. We all have the same basic needs. Wherever you come from, most of us have the same basic needs. We want to be loved, liked, all those things, right? And so to hear you say that, I think that's so important about the being okay in our own skin, because I think that so many people wrestle with that. It does not matter what you do, where you come from. Some of the most successful people have to learn to get into being okay with their identity, right? And I had a guy on the show we were talking to the other day. He has a successful podcast, and we were talking about, he said when he first started doing his podcast, how he had to get okay with looking at himself and listening to himself. And he asked me, he goes, did you wrestle with that? And I said, oh my gosh, yes. When I first started doing my podcast, like I would get hung up on a word. Like I kept saying awesome, 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 that and 100%. And I had to make a joke about it, because I started getting like conscientious about it. And I would get mad. Like every time I'd go to listen to an episode, I'd be like, Jennifer, stop saying the word. And so I decided that in order for me to get comfortable with it, I had to stop making a big deal about it. Like I had to let it go. And so what I did is I ended up flipping it, and I made a joke. And so what I did is I would say, okay, I'm going to see how many times in this episode I can say the word awesome, because I like the word awesome. It's a good word. Okay. More people should say the word awesome, right? It might be a happier place. Exactly. So guess what? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a good thing, because I kind of quit saying it. I wasn't saying it as much, but my point was I got off of it and I got okay with it. And to add to all of this, now it's like, when I look at an episode, I say dumb stuff all the freaking time. I don't even care, because my point is, look, you know what? I do this show because I enjoy doing it. People don't like it, don't watch it. And there are a lot of people that will never step into a space of what you're doing or what I'm doing or what anybody's doing, because they will never have the courage to do it. And so my thing is if you have it, just, step into it, be proud of yourself, own it, right? But I think I want to say thank you for saying it, because I do think it takes time and courage and tenacity and just the willingness. I love the talking to yourself. Like I used to do the, right before I'd come on an episode, I'd just be like, okay, we got this. We got this. Do we get nervous? Yes, we still do. There are times I jump on here. Most of the time I am not nervous, but every now and then somebody will come on here and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to say to this person? How am I going to do this? Like, don't mess it up. It is the way it is. So thank you for sharing that. I think it's important.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So you've said so many things about this. I would love to know, with everything you've done, how do you define success? Like, what does that look like for you at this stage of where you are in your life?
For me, success is having fun with life and having fun with others and doing what we love to do together.
Yeah. And
that's it. It's just having fun is a very big goal of mine.
Yeah.
I think that's what the world really, really wants from me. This is what I've been told by my psychologist. Man, they just want to have fun with you. Just go have fun. Don't be serious. Don't be this. Don't be that. And he's absolutely right. The more I lean into the fun of it. Oh, there was another aspect of the mirror thing that I want to share with you. I looked into the mirror and I said, they need love. There's a big party downstairs.
Yeah.
Of industry people. We're talking like executives, directors, producers, singers, songwriters, everywhere. But at the end of the day, like, they need love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for real. I looked in that mirror. Just remember that. And so do you.
Right.
But they do too. And sometimes we forget, like, we only are thinking about, like, I want to be loved. I want to be great. I want to be the best. We're always thinking about us.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm starting to really understand, like, how important it is to, like, put that mirror and just go like this.
Yeah.
Put it back onto them, like put that mirror of love and shine it back onto the individuals, the people, and show them love. And I think when you do that and just getting like kids in a play, that's another thing. Another metaphor I've been doing is I'm viewing everybody like children. When I meet you or when I meet other people, I'm like, oh, another child, another kid wants to play in the play box with me. Isn't that fun? We'll just like make little stuff, we'll play together. And that's what we're doing when I'm making a record with somebody, producing a record or producing vocals for them and whatnot. We're just children playing in the play box together.
Yeah. It's a good way to look at it. Well, and then that kind of what they say in like the psychology, we're all a bunch of toddlers, running around in adult bodies. I guess Tony Robbins, it says that, right? Like,
is he really?
Yeah, I think he's talking about like, the way kind of poor behaviors that we show up with. But if you think of it in terms like that, it really takes off like all the conditions too, right? We stop making everything conditional. It's more like, hey, we're just having fun and we're enjoying things. And I really honestly think more of us could use it in the world, right? It might be a happier place if we all learn to have a little more fun and be creative,
Yes,
so, absolutely.
I'm with you on it. But that's our role. I think that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I think that, I was telling someone the other day, I think so often we get so, into everything having to be a certain way that we forget. And see, you're fortunate enough that like I said, we talked in the very beginning, you figured out your gift and you were able to match that with the creative passion. So many people never tap into that because they're not, I don't know if it's that they're just not willing to do it or they don't know they have it. I mean, I think we all have a little bit of creative something. We just have to figure out what is that creative expression. But it's so good for the soul, and even when I'm working with my clients, a lot of times I'll tell them that I'm like, what are you doing to add value to your life? Like you've got to find something that you truly passionately enjoy, because if you don't, then what are you doing? What are you doing? You're probably miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Life is short.
I would agree with you on that one. Yes, I would. Find your passion. Find something you love to do. You can't afford not to, right? Like you're making me think. I'm like, I've got this piano sitting over here, and I love to play piano.
Oh, play it.
I'm not like like the best piano player, but
get on there.
I love to play.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I need to go pull my chair out and go over there and do some piano again. So
film it and upload it. I think your followers will love that.
Probably would. So
your vulnerability.
Yeah. So what advice you've said? I feel like you've said a lot of this. So I think anybody listening to this in the creative space or anybody wanting to pursue something is going to be able to take away so much from this. But I would love to know like any advice you would lean into somebody maybe right now that maybe they're at the verge of starting something. They've got a great idea or a talent or something they want to push in and maybe something to get them over that edge.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that I love, a fellow collaborator. He's written and produced with me my records. I love him to death. And I produce some music for him and he's producing, but he's an ultra perfectionist, like beyond imagination, Virgo. I won't name names, but he keeps pushing back the dates. Like last year was supposed to be his first single was supposed to come out. I've done meanwhile 4 or 5 albums since we've started working together, being friends and being crazy. But he hasn't released one song yet, and he loves music. He loves going to all the festivals, and he is a music like just encyclopedia. He knows everything about the performers and everything. So if you're like him, my suggestion is to release your music, release your art, and try hard not to think too much. Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
There's just like thinking is such the opposite of playing and creativity.
It is.
And that's another message I got from you know who. Uh, Thinking is just so dumb. It's useless in the creative world and in the things that you and I want to do. Think, isn't that ridiculous to think like that
Yeah.
thinking is dumb? But it really is. It just takes you away from the playfulness. So my advice is like play, stop thinking, and just like create and release and let it go and move on to the next.
Yeah. No,
That
it's
would be my
good.
advice.
Yeah, it's good. Well, and you know what's funny is that when I was creating that quiz that you heard me mention in the very beginning, that I put like 6 blocks, and one of them is perfectionism. And what I realized, Ricky, while I was like creating that form, is that my perfectionism was trying to creep through. I actually, you know what I did? I spent like a month working on building it, and I finally just got pissed off. And I was like, that's it. I'm paying somebody to take it. I am done because I am spending way too much time overthinking this. So I'm in this program right now that I'm doing, and you're Shirzad Shameen. You can ask your partner because they probably know this. I think he's a Stanford lecturer. Anyways, it's all about the saboteurs, and my like top saboteurs like hyper rational, stickler, control. Okay, but I'm a creative person. And so what he talks about in there is like this 80-20 thing, like 20% needs to be perfect. The other 80 can go. So I'm really trying to be like, okay, do I really need to fixate on this? Just let it go. Because to your point, once you get in the zone and you start doing the creative, you're in it. Like you can get it. It's like getting over into it, right? Like moving. And so I think your advice is great because I think so often, yes, we overthink, and what happens that stalls us. It just keeps us stuck. We don't move. And then nothing happens, right? And so what I'm trying to do is when I get in that zone and I want to do that, is just putting a time limit on it. Like basically saying, you got a short time, Jennifer, to sit on this. Like if you need 24 hours to like pout, you need 24 hours to think about it, whatever you need to do, but you got 24 hours. And after that, if you ain't figured it out or got it done, you need to move on, give it to somebody, let it go, whatever, and then
Yes.
go be creative because you're much happier. We've already said this. You're much happier when you're doing that. So I think it's good.
Mhm.
It was great advice because we do stop thinking.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
know you're a Scorpio. You said you're
yes,
Scorpio.
they think too much sometimes, right?
They
I,
think too
I don't
much.
know if I got told that when I was a kid all the time. I got told like I think too much. And
Me too.
did you? So you're like, no, I don't think too much. You just think deeply. You think about things very deeply, right?
How
It
can
doesn't
you
mean you're
not?
like,
How can you not? I don't understand how can you not think
this
so
is true.
deeply
Yeah, this is
deeply
true. This is true.
about
I know.
things?
Well, there are people that don't, and they exist, and so it
They're
happens.
so lucky. And so I'm trying to be more like them.
Exactly. I love it. All right. Well, I have some fun questions I want to ask you before we can tell all these people when they get done are going to be looking this up and going to be like, but so I do want to know because I saw something about Hall of Fame thing coming up or something. So tell us like what's on the horizon. What do you
Mhm.
got? What's going on? I know you got this movie project coming out, but what else we got going on?
Well, I was inducted into the American Entertainment Hall of Fame this
Saw
year
that.
or last year.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Congratulations.
At Warner Brothers Studios, my parents came out, my mom, my dad. They were so proud. And there
Yeah.
were some heavy hitter people there, Grammy Award winners who were being inducted as well. Just such a huge honor.
Yeah.
And I got to perform. I did like one No Authority song. And then I did 2 of my Billboard Top 40 records, Boys and Sometimes Girls, and If You Were My Baby, 2 of my biggest like hit songs that I love to perform. And gosh, right now I'm producing an album, an EDM record, and it's called Filling the Void.
I like it.
And all of the ways that I have kind of attempted to fill the void through just and why I'm what is my particular void and all of those things. And I've come to realize that the void is actually really kind of cool. I've come to have a reframe on it. Like if I didn't have that void, that hunger, I would just be, life would be really boring and life would be pretty much meaningless because I would have no hunger for anything. So I've learned to kind of love the void in a way. And I have a song called Don't Think, Just Dance. I have a song called Filling the Void. I have another song called Fabulous, which is a word that I use often. Like you
Yep.
use,
It's a good word.
awesome.
Yep.
I use fabulous.
I like it.
So that's a great song. I can't wait to release it. It's a jam. It's giving like 2010s, like remember that EDM
Yeah.
David Guetta era nostalgia, but still it's still fresh though.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I'll have to check it out. I'm excited for you. So
Thank you.
that's
I am
awesome.
too.
I pick up the fabulous word. I tell people that sometimes I'm like, I'm hoping you're doing fabulous.
Yeah.
So, great words. Languaging matters. Words matter. That's what I tell
yes,
people.
they do.
You know, when I first started, you will probably appreciate this because to talk about like growth and how we evolve. When I first started in Mary Kay back in like the late 90s, I remember going into this meeting and I had this director, and I've talked about this several times, how when I started, I was super, super shy. I had a hard time talking in front of people. I mean, I took public speaking in college and swore I would never talk in front of a group of people ever again after that. But anyways, I went into this meeting and I remember walking in and she would always ask the same question, be like, how are you doing today? And I'd be like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to fly under the radar. One day she stopped me and she's like, no, you are great. You are not good. You are great. And I never forgot it. And it was so funny because we were not, from that day on, I was not allowed to walk in and just say I was good. I had to walk in and say, I'm great, you know? And now it's funny because people ask me that. And I don't even think anything of it. I'm like, I'm great. How are you? You know? So it's that, go back to the self-talk, the mirror, all of those things, right? Like the more you use that language and you talk to yourself like that, it's really, we're like our worst, you know, we can be our best critics, our worst critics. It really just starts with us. And so words matter.
Words matter, especially that whatever comes after I am. That's crazy important.
You're getting lots of therapy in your world.
Look who I live with. Look who I live with.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I'm saying. You're getting lots of, so funny because my sister and I've had these conversations and she'll tell me something and I'll tell her that and she'll say, my therapist said that. I said, your therapist is smart. Good stuff. All right. Well, I have a couple fun questions I want to ask you real quick before we wrap this up. So other than doing those flips you were talking about in the beginning, what's another hobby or something fun you like to do that maybe we don't know about?
Oh gosh, that you don't know about. Well, maybe you don't know. I love fitness. Fitness is my jam. I'm a certified Pilates instructor.
Oh, no, didn't know that. Fun.
Yeah, I love Pilates. I love working out, weight training, weightlifting. It's like my sanctuary. I go there just to, again, lose those thoughts. They just go out the window. Right. You just lock into what you're doing. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be an aerobics instructor.
Oh, not really? Oh my God, we have so much in common. It's crazy. Yeah.
And then so think back late 90s, back, you know, like we were still we were kind of still using cassettes, and then we moved into CDs. And I remember I had a DJ mix all my music for me. I have like the best music ever. But it's so funny because I still work out. I work out almost every day. I go to the gym. I've been a member of the same LA Fitness since like 2008, the same gym, the same one. And it's so funny. I go in and I do my own thing. I never do fitness classes anymore. I just go in, I run on the treadmill, go do the elliptical, do weights. I go work out, like stretch at the end, and I watch the women in the aerobics room doing their aerobics classes. And I'm like, oh, I remember doing that. And I'm like, is she doing that right? Is she got her count right? But I never trained. I did train to do yoga. I never trained to do Pilates, but I like Pilates. I like it.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah.
So
fun. Well, too bad I'm not where you are because I'd come to your class. I would pop in there.
Yeah, come in.
Oh, so fun. Good stuff.
I love the reformer. And I love yoga too. Yoga's a lot of fun.
They're both good for you. They're both great exercises. So glad to hear you doing that. So, all right. So if you could collaborate, you've collaborated with so many great people, but if you could collaborate with any one artist that you have not collaborated with, who would excite you?
There's only one. Her name is Madonna.
You know what? Okay, so the guy that I interviewed the other day, the podcast guy that I told you about that has the pretty, doing really well, successful podcast. We were talking about, he's like, I really would love to interview Madonna. So we're all on the Madonna train right now. Like we're all like, somebody like pin Madonna down. We all need to collaborate together so we can get her in one space. You know what I mean? So I told him, we got to figure out how to do this. So it's funny that comes up again. I love it. All right. And then is there any like, and I'm sure you have lots of these, you've told some great stories, but maybe anything that happened to you that was kind of a funny moment in your career that like you, like maybe at that time it wasn't quite so funny, but now you kind of laugh about it and you're like, yeah, that was a great moment.
Not that many I could talk about on this podcast.
We'll keep it under the covers. So I was gonna say you probably have a lot of those moments. I think all of us do as humans. We all have moments.
There was one time I was performing. I didn't have any underwear on, and we were performing on stage, and my pants were a little tight, and I did a move, I did a kick, and it just ripped in front of everybody.
My goodness!
And I was incredibly embarrassed, and I continued to perform somehow strategically. Didn't show the back.
Yeah. You're just, that's good.
Made it work. The show must go on.
The show must go on. That's right. Well, good for you. You were able to pull it off. And that would, that would have been hard.
It was hard.
I was thinking about this time, like I was walking out of the Dallas Cowboys Club because I'm not far from where the Dallas Cowboys Club is. And I was walking out of a meeting that I had went in. I had these heels on and a dress, and I'm pretty sure there were security cameras up, like in there because it's the Dallas Cowboys Club thing. I walked out and I went to step off of a ledge, and I walked out with this guy. I didn't even know how he didn't even see that I did it because I went over and I said, did you just see me? The only thing I could do because I was so embarrassed was just laugh at myself. So I'm like, did you just see me land on my butt? I'm pretty sure they got a great shot of my back end in that camera. I just had to get up and laugh it off and I was in so much pain when I came out of there. Like I bruised myself up, but I think I was more embarrassed than I was hurt in that moment. You know what I mean? So we all have crazy moments in life, so anyways. All right, Ricky. Well, this has been so much fun. Is there any, I know you've got is there any particular place? I saw your Instagram, you're rocking it over there, but is there any particular place you want me to send people? So when I put these amazing show notes together and I say, hey, go follow Ricky where do you want us to send them?
On all social media handles, it's Ricky Rebel Rocks. So just any of them, join me. Follow me. Yeah. I'll follow you back. Tell me where you found me, and I'll follow you back, and it's great.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to be in touch. I'm going to follow you. I saw today because I just found out about you today I know, is that cool? Coming on this show. I'm like, okay, who's this person? Oh, this is fabulous because I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to talk to this person. This looks like so much fun. So anyways, thank you for coming on here and sharing with us and talking about your journey and being, authentic and real, because that's really what this show is about, is just, like I mentioned early on, before we were on here, is it's just showing, my listeners that, hey, there are amazing people out in the world doing amazing things and just doing it, overcoming adversity and challenges. And really at the end of the day, we're different, but we're alike in a lot of ways. And I think that's what ties us all together, is this authenticity and realness. And so thank you for leaning into that and being open and vulnerable today.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been fun. All right. And to our listeners, we love you, appreciate you. We hope you found this episode both inspiring and informative. And if you did, you know what? Do all the things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, so we can keep sharing all of this fabulous content. And as I always say, in order to live the extraordinary, you must start. And every start begins with a decision. You guys take care, be safe, be kind to one another, and we will see you next time.